So the first thing I want to share was this markup that we did right here. And I say that we did, that I did, because so I guess when I say we did, they're like, Andy, who else helped you with this? So this was a markup that I was looking at. And all I was looking at was we had this 30-minute break right here. And as you guys have always heard me say, a high risk entry is taking it as soon as the candle pushes through, the trend line or your zone or whatever. And then I was like, your low risk is waiting for the candle close. Okay, so our TPs, you can see here, was TP 1, 2, and 3. So our first trade, if you entered on candle close, was this one right here. And the total run for that trade, if you held it the whole entire time, which I don't think most people did, was 966 pips. Personally, let go of this trade at like 32,000, 33,255. So, I mean, I let go of it right above that TP3 area. I was playing Top Golf with the kids and price had come down and hit TP and I didn't close out in time. So it obviously pushed itself back up. But if you held it just to our TP, you were able to bank 732 pips. 732 pips of this trade when it was the course of a day and some change is not bad. Well, you guys know our TPs always turn into our entries. So if you look down here on the bottom, I gotta move this window over here. If you look down here, it says TP3 becomes our entry. TP2 is now TP1 and TP1 is now TP2. You just reverse the charts. That's something that I've always said to do. That's something I've always done. It's something I talk about in the Discord, you name it, okay? So as we took these cells all the way down, all we were looking for was a reversal of those TPs. Now, here's the beautiful thing about this trade setup. Even if you took this trade on the break right there, that still gave you enough room to protect that entry of 80 pips. We're never protecting 80 pips. We're always protecting 10 pips, 15, 20 pips, okay? We're never protecting 80. Now, once we protected, price come down and hit TP1. At TP1, what do? We close partials and protect. So that's exactly what we did. You never got knocked out of that trade and it slammed down, hit TP2. So if you have more partials at that time, you close the partials, you let it run, it came up and then slammed down, hit TP3. An amazing trade, easy. Now, since you have banked this money, so let's say you got in here and you closed out here, then you put 732 pips in your bank account. So knowing that we're looking for a reversal, you're going to enter this with half the lot size that you originally started with. Okay, so let's say up here, you started with $10 per pip. Okay, so now at $10 per pip, this trade just made you $7,000 plus. That's not a bad day. Keep in mind, that's $10 a pip, guys. Your stop loss on this trade wasn't even terrible at all. So, which is now our TP2. All right. So at this point, if you closed out half, you're still sitting on $800-900. The risk was small and you're only using half the lot sizes. Now, I had an ultimate TP on mine that I posted on MT5 that I posted in the Discord. If anyone else, wanted to take it or look at it, they could have. And it obviously hit that one. But this is the type of stuff I'm talking about where the trade setup on TradingView, which I'm going to go over to MT5 in a second, but the TradingView setup was so simple. Now, I got to ask a lot of questions. Andy, why are you running a TradingView setup and also running an MT5 setup? Well, because there's people that trade on MT5, there's people that trade on TradingView. Obviously, with us going to Carbon Trader, there's going to be people that want to use TradingView. So I'm trying to put both out there. So not only am I trading 5 different account sizes for you guys, I'm also marking up on 2 different platforms and also sharing this across text messaging, Telegram, and Discord every single move. I'm going to explain to you why that's important for y'all to hear that in just a second. So this right here is the simple, this is the simplest way you could trade. There's a break, you have your stop loss, it hits your last TP, you turn that into your reversal, it goes back up, you close all the trades, you leave your runner, and that's it. So like right now, I've got a buy position going for $20 a pip, and I'm in a sell position at $10 a pip. If this thing continues to buy, I could care less about my sell position because it's going to get completely wiped out by the profits of my buy. I'm going to jump over here and I'll get right back to the messages here in the chat in just a little bit because Trading view is easy. You saw that setup. It was a break, TP levels, your TP3s become your reversals. You take the reversal up, you close your trades. It's very simple. MT5 can be a different beast. So we're going to look at MT5 over here. We're going to start with this template first. Okay, where I have these marked out right here on 425 and 428. I took a trade here and here. These were the only two trades I took before this fall. Now, during this time frame right here, you've got roughly about 118 hours and some change. So you've got about 3 or 4 days where nothing's taken place through here. And guess what I didn't do? I didn't take a single trade. In between this, were there moves that happened? Yes. But I didn't like the setup. I didn't like, yes, that was a perfect bounce, but I didn't like it. There was just something about it. I'm like, man, we broke this trend. I caught this little sell down, and then it came and knocked me out at break even. And then it came up and rejected, and I was looking for sells because I told you guys, I see sells better than I do buys. Well, when it finally broke the break point up here, which you can see, the first one up there is labeled break. When you look, there was the break. Now, what's really cool about this is when we look at the 5-minute and we go over to that particular place. And you can't see it on here because it's dots, but this is a dot and that's a dot. Okay, so there's a dot right here. And then there's a dot right here. Okay. Now, why is this important? I'm looking for sells. Put that in your head. If you're looking for buys, you're going to get messed up right here. All I'm looking for is sells. But Andy, why do you have a trend line on the top? Well, because when price gave me a swing high, and it didn't break that trend with a candle close, I said, this is the opportunity for the sell. So on the 5-minute, when I saw that we didn't break that, and look what time this was. So right here at 16:30, it's the New York market open. When I saw price go up, the market open, and we slammed down, we're not breaking this. So then that's where I can go to my 4-hour, and I can see, yep, we're going to break that trend right there. And we hit the break line. And if we zoom out, this is very important, guys. I want you to read this on the bottom. It says break, TP1, TP2, TP3 reversal. We can't spell that out any easier. Break means price is breaking it. And we have a TP1, a TP2, and a TP3, which becomes our reversal. I want you to look what price did. It broke. TP1, TP2, TP3. And what did it do? It reversed. That's it. Now, if you remember, during this time right here, if you go back to the Discord, I said, guys, we're not looking for buys. I'm looking for sells only. There's no buys in my vocabulary. And what do I see people doing? I think we got a rejection. I'm getting into buys. Let's buy this thing back up. Let's buy to 34,500. Here we go, bro. We're in buys. And I'm seeing everyone posting this on social media, Telegrams, Discords. And I'm like, holy hell. No one has faith in me or the dots. But that's about as pretty as it can go. TP1, TP2, TP3. Now, your stop loss for this trade would have been your last swing high, which was up here. This was your entry. So your stop loss for this trade was 265 pips. And your TP3 came in at 1,000 pips. 1,000. That's 3x, guys. 3x. Simple. You took a trade here on 5-2. The trade was over on 5-4. That allowed you 2 days to do nothing. Because once that trade broke and you protected and closed partials at TP1, there was nothing else to do. Nothing. You're done. You got to enjoy time with your kids. You got to enjoy time with your family. You got to enjoy time with maybe yourself as far as, self-care. Maybe you went and got a massage. Maybe you went for a walk. Maybe you went to the gym. Maybe you worked a second job. you didn't have to trade nothing. You didn't have to look at anything because you let it go. Now, there was another setup, okay? Now, that other setup comes from, excuse me, another Zoom that we had marked up right here. This again was, we were kind of looking at this break. Obviously, it says TP3 reversal, but we didn't move it. We kept it on this because we had a swing dot here, and then we had another dot right here. So we had that marked up. This was what I was looking at when I said, guys, we're looking for sells. Now, this right here was on the 5-2 candle at the big one that dropped. If we look over here, the markup that we had called it before the big drop. So either way, you're going to catch this move. You go to the 5-minute, we zoom out, we go over, and you'll see exactly. There it is right there. That's the bottom line right there. And it broke, came up, broke, retested, and slammed. Stop loss on this was last swing high, which would have been here. Stop loss would have been the same, about right there, 268 pips. So whether you're taking the markup we had on the Discord or the markup we did on the Zoom last, you still were able to catch that move. And here's what's beautiful about this one. No, we didn't have a fib fan telling us this was where we were going to reject. We just had these zones, okay? So this zone that we had here was 33,312 and 33,281. So 32,954 and 32,934. We had our break here. This was our TP1 zone because we said over here, if we ever break this zone, we're at least going to go down to this bottom zone. Now, granted, this right here was marked up on 4/6. Okay. So on April 6th is when we said, if we can break this bottom zone, we're going to tap that bottom zone. It didn't happen here and it didn't happen here. But look what happened today. Now, we said if we tap this zone and do not close it on a 30-minute candle close, price is going to do what? So let's look at it on the 30-minute zone. Price tapped it, never did come close to breaking it, not once. That's the sign we're going up. And then look, got back into that zone. Played, gave us a big candle up, candle down. Look what happened when that 30-minute candle closed above it. Right up. And then this is where we're currently at. I caught the buy down here, basically flat at 33,000 because I went ahead and said it's 33,000. It's a whole number. I'm going in. So I had my buy limit there at 33,000. And then we closed all the way going up. And I'll show you that in a second. And then we clicked our sell right there at our TP level that's now in profit. It's in profit by 62 pips, so not a ton. But here's the cool thing about it. If price continues to go up, I only made $20 per pip from here to here, which is still solid. That's $12K, $13,000 action. But if price continues to go up, I only make $10 per pip from here up. That's cool. But if this price decides to come down and knock me out, now from here to here, I've made almost $8,000. And it did break me out and break even, but I've had a solid week. So I'm not even worried about that. So it's playing both sides. Now, let's take a look at history. This is the fun part, okay? When you look at this history, what you're going to see is right here going up, I clicked sell at this zone. This was that 33,800, 33,900 area that I wanted to catch that sell. And I just couldn't catch it. So what I do, I had buys over here. The buys at the bottom. So my buys, I closed out here and here, and I kept the sell open. And then we went back up into this area, which was 34,000. Y'all remember, I had a sell limit at 34,000 flat because it's a whole number. And I said, this is where I want us to reject. We didn't reject. We pushed up. And that's when I drew the markup and said, guys, we're falling down. We painted a swing high on that area. We're right there at the break zone. TPs are about to hit. And then look, I closed the first sell right there when price come down. It wasn't a big profit. It was only 57 pips. But if you looked at this on the 5 and 15 minute, price was going like this. So I was like, I want that position gone. And then we had the next level come in right here where I closed a partial. Price went up and I entered another sell. And look, partial and partial. That was the trade I closed right there for 743 pips. I closed that trade. And then what did I do? I had a buy right here. Now, if you remember, this was one of my buys at my TPs at 33,465 and some change. Because I'd already closed all the TPs up there. And I said, you know what? We may go up here. And we didn't. We slammed down lower. We slammed down lower. I said, well, we're at that TP zone for my sells. So I'm going to take advantage of this. And I'm going to click buy. And what I do, I clicked buy. And then when I saw price go down, I was like, yep, this is matching our template to a T. 33,000 flat. I'm going in. And they all came up. And I want you guys to look at where I closed them. Right there. Following the rules, following exactly what I preach, what I teach, and what I show. I'm not going to say do one thing and then me do another behind the scenes. I'm not going to give you a set of my rules and then change my rules behind the scenes. I do day in, day out exactly what I preach. And I'm going on, this is my 4th year in the Forex community. And since day one, if you've been part of the Pip Connect actually started at the end of 2019. Going 4 years. And if you've been with me since day one, you know I'm still doing the same thing day in, day out, same rules. Minus the moving averages and all that stuff. And I only took those off my chart because I'm going to be honest, I loved the way they looked. I loved the colors. I used to scalp. And when I scalped, I trade the 50, the 100, sorry, the 14, the 50, and the 100. I would wait for crosses. That was it. But then, end of the year, I get asked this a lot, Andy, why did you stop scalping? Because when I went to the end of the year P&L and I looked at my scalps, it's like, wow, if I'd have held this for an extra 15 minutes, I'd have made a lot more. If I would have held this for 3 more days, I would have made a lot more. You know, yes, I would have got knocked out on a lot of the trades, but the end result would have been like 6 times what I was making before. So, excuse me. It meant a lot to hold them than to scalp. So that's when I said, if I'm not a scalper, I'm clearing everything off my charts and I'm using what I know works. Now, granted, it's what works for me. It may not work for you, but it's what works for me. If it's working for me, I don't want to change it because when I've got entries like this and exits like this, I'm a happy guy. On a Friday where I missed the lowest point by 45 pips, but then I'm able to catch a 753 pip run in the same day, I just closed out a 750 pip trade. I'm 100% okay with that. So there's the trading for today. Now, this month and last month, this will give you an idea of where I'm at. So you'll see up here from 411, I took this trade, closed out 425, 417, 428, 428. And I wasn't taking really any new positions between this time. It wasn't until 5-3 I started closing these trades out. Now you can see it was a solid month, 128K. That's not even a month. That's just 4 weeks. Well, I say a month. I missed it by, it's about 3 weeks. I'm okay with that. But this, I've been able to trade this way, guys, because I'm leaving the runners and I'm playing within those ranges, taking halves. If I took this sell up here at the same entry as I took my buy, I just hedged myself. I'm not going to make anything. If I took this sell up here at $10 more than this buy, then I'm going to lose money if this thing shoots back down. Shoots up. So for me, when I trade within my zones and my entries, it allows me to always be confident that I'm going to win one way or another. But the only way you can trade this way is once you get that first setup and then follow it all the way through. If you missed my sells, then yes, getting in that buy was a high risk. If you missed this buy, getting in this sell could be a high risk. So it's following every chart through and waiting for the end result and just taking out the risk with the partials and break evens. So I'm going to read some questions real quick and I will get back. So let's see, because I've missed some stuff on here. Well, not read questions. Some people may have statements. Happy birthday, AP. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see here. It's Cinco de Mayo. Love you and what you do, bro. Thank you, Eric. Quality over quantity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Clean levels and simple thought process. Thank you, Andrew. I really appreciate that, bro. What was the stop loss for the initial sell? I covered that as like 268 pips. Good to go. Have a blessed weekend and be on Sunday. Appreciate everything you do for the community. Thank you, EJ. I appreciate that. Are your TP 1, 2, and 3 levels based on daily levels? So these levels here, let me go to the chart. Let me change up my screen and go to trading view. So if we zoom out on this, you're going to notice that these levels right here that I have were all prior levels on the 4-hour that I was looking at here. The base of the candles here. And then I really liked this wick right there. And that was it. Like there was nothing special about it. I just looked where price had bounced, where it had come to, and said, if we hit that again, we're going to break through it or at least test it. So if you hit one of these zones again, like TP2, you can see where we tapped it, bounced, tapped it, bounced, tapped it, bounced, tapped it, bounced, tapped it, bounced. So if we tap that again, it bounces. I at least got my TP2. I close my partial and I protect it. It can't hurt me. It did bounce, but then it slammed through it. And being 33,000 was a whole number, we blew through it. We touched that 33,000 and shot right back up. Hey, Andy, Andre here. For some reason, I'm not getting the text messages. So Andre, if you're part of the Telegram that gets the text messages, this week I was throwing a lot of stuff just in the Telegram because I was writing more than 160 characters. And if I'm sending more than 160, normally I want to send like a markup, it's easy. But if I'm having to actually write out and explain what I'm doing and I'm sending it in multiple messages, I'll be using Telegram for that instead of just the initial alert for the text messages. Can you post the replay afterwards? Yes. Those 4-hour bounces and TP levels, they worked out perfect. How'd you cover that bottom zone, Andy? Mix it myself. So the bottom zone that I had on MT5, I'll show you that over here. If we go to MT5 and we look, it was that same thing where it was a bounce. It was an area right here where we went up and tapped it and slammed down, came up, slammed down. When we finally went up, we retested it and shot off. Same with this area. We broke, retest, broke, retest, 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 shot off. So those were just 2 zones that I liked for the break, and that was it. If I sell up there, you're technically locking in profits without closing. Smart man. How do you determine the stop loss for those buys? So the stop loss on any trade that I take, any trade, will always be these dots. So if you're taking a sell right here, 10 pips above your last swing high is going to be your entry every time. So always remember that. Your dots are everything you're playing. Could you go over the dot indicator on TradingView? As Carbon at the moment is not accepting Canadian clients to use the demo account for the dot to dot. So the dot to dot you can use on TradingView is called pivot high low. I don't know if I have it loaded on mine. I do. So I'll go back to that screen so you guys can see it. It is, when you unlock it, you can see the dots right there. And the settings that I have on mine are left bars and right bars are 5 for my input. I've changed the shapes to circle at absolute with the precision at 0. And then visibility is obviously already pre-calculated in there. And I just use my dot to dots. If you need to know how to use the dots, head over to YouTube and just type in Kirk Wheeler dots Andy Peters. And that's Kirk with a K, K-I-R-K, Wheeler, W-H-E-E-L-E-R, dots Andy Peters. And you're going to find a long video explaining that one. Did you still have the sell at 34K while taking the buys? Absolutely not. Talking about these buys right here? No. You'll see that these buys, I closed out. I did have my runner from this position right here. So I had my runner at 34,002, and I closed a partial of it right here. And I closed the full one right here. So yes, I did trade within that zone if that's what you're asking. I started with RSI, TD, moving averages and bands. Now just dots. Cody says shit works. What will you do with those buys if price break TP3 go lower? What will you do with those buys if price? I'm not sure I understand that, King, because I've got this buy protected. So if price goes lower, it's just going to knock me out because I'm already in sells up here. And that's where greed sets in. Like, this is where your mentality in trading is going to mess you up. If you're looking at this and you're like, crap, I'm rolling $14,000 worth of profit. I'm going to close this now and ride this sell all the way back down. You may close this and then this sell is just going to shoot up and eat up half your profits. I personally would rather have the clear mind of thinking of, I'm going to win this no matter what. No matter what, Andy Peters cannot lose this trade. Can't lose it. If price comes down and knocks me out at break even, I just made 8K. If price blows through here and goes to 34,000, I just made like $16,000, $17,000. Either way, I'm going to win. This is the way you guys have seen me trade ever since I've been posting all my stuff on the Discord. I see your face, Marley. Hey. Let's see here. So which plays you find have a higher probability? The longer plays. The scalping always tanked me every single time. I start taking the positions and I'm cutting them in half by the lot sizes I'm using. I know that I'm under leveraged for what I'm trading because I've already maximized those profits and I'm just cutting it in half for my entries that I'm taking. And for those of you who may not be part of the Discord, I mean, I'll be glad just to show you this one piece right here. And this is only my piece. There's still a ton of other people in our community that share stuff in their own sections and everything. But if you look at this Discord, you know, right here, and you go down to my area, which is Andy's Trading, I mean, you can see where, I mean, I'm given everything. I mean, from my entries, what I'm doing with those entries, where we got rejections, 45 pips. I mean, I'm telling you everything I'm doing. I mean, I'm giving all the markups, even doing voice chats, given, you know, why I'm closing the trades out here. I mean, I'm everything. I'm not just throwing up a screenshot. I'm doing everything. And other people are doing the same. And I just think it's important for people who are in this trading space to understand that there's someone out there that's wanting you to learn with just not a screenshot. That's actually telling you why I'm taking this trade. Telling you exactly. Now, I may be a few seconds off. If I click buy on the screen, it may take me 5 to 10 seconds to type that out to let people know that I'm getting into buys.